Hey guys, my name is Tim, and welcome to today's Bite of Success Stories. Today, I want to talk about Steve Jobs and the important lesson from whom every startup should learn. When it comes to startups, the vast majority of people remember being cool and getting rich in the near future. However, although anyone can be cool, only a very small number of people can make their startup successful and get rich. Instead of focusing on being cool and getting rich, Steve Jobs focused on the vision he had for Apple and the brand. Although he made it to be in the list of billionaires in the world, his name never resembled that of a rich man. Still, everyone knew him as a person with revolutionary ideas, the ones which were very simple, but were requested by consumers. Therefore, surprisingly, were well received by the consumer community. What Steve Jobs did is not comparable to what Bill Gates did in Microsoft or Jeff Bezos did in Amazon. Although Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos have far more wealth than Steve Jobs, today, Apple is the only company worth $1 trillion. If your vision is to become Bill Gates or Jeff Bezos just to get rich, you're taking the wrong way. Steve Jobs' fortune was $10 billion. But what do you want to do so that $10 billion is not enough, and you need Jeff Bezos' wealth? Instead, try to increase the value of your startup brand. Set your goal on serious, real issues, not false fantasies. I'm not saying that no one can be as rich as Bill Gates or Jeff Bezos, but I say that you should set your goal on something that's possible and more rational. More importantly, smart. Focus on what is critical. What Steve Jobs did to raise the value of his startup was simple. He made computers available to the general public when computers were only available to great companies. I'm talking about those times that few people were familiar with PCs. The mistake most startups make is trying to reduce the quality in a similar situation to get the final product to the consumer at a much lower price. Steve Jobs did not try to lower prices. Nevertheless, he set Apple products at high prices, given the importance and value he envisaged for the design and elegance of the final product. Technically, instead, he found a way for ordinary people to take computers to their homes. This is called a very simple, revolutionary idea. Don't forget that market challenges remain the same for decades, if not centuries, and that is the only way we can answer their changing questions. Steve Jobs looked at the questions from a different perspective. Consequently, he found different answers. Branding in the style of Steve Jobs is unique. He was probably the only one who considered marketing and technology at the same time. By no means, he wanted to sacrifice elegance and beauty for technical issues. On the other hand, he never agreed to sacrifice the technical issues for physical beauty. Therefore, Apple had to practice creativity and innovation. Apple had to find a way to both keep its product technically and visually appealing at the same time. Such products would accordingly cost much more than regular products, but Steve Jobs knew that perfect products have their own customers. While Microsoft wanted to make money from selling medium-quality products to 80% of the target customers, Apple focused on the 20% of perfectionist customers and offered them high-end and, of course, pricey products. Microsoft never offered them anything more than what the consumer needed. But thanks to Steve Jobs' rationale, the customers don't know what they want. Apple has always provided products far beyond consumer demand and then showed customers their actual demands with its products. All of Steve Jobs' work ended up making Apple an unparalleled example of brand positioning. When we hear the name Microsoft, nothing comes to mind more than Control-Alt-Delete. But when someone says Apple, we are attacked by a variety of images, such as luxury, educated consumers, carefully engineered products, unique design, and beauty. Have you ever wondered why many Windows users install templates to make their Windows look like a Mac, but no Mac user ever makes his or her operating system look like Windows? Have you ever wondered why Windows users always leave hateful comments under Apple videos, although many wish to have a MacBook? Needless to say, I don't consider myself an Apple fanboy. I'm just a big fan of Steve Jobs' mindset that separates those with extraordinary lives from everyone else. If you want to become the most powerful brand in history someday, like Steve Jobs' startup, always think a few steps ahead of competitors and even consumers. Before we finish today's video, I want to ask you a question. Why do so many people hate Apple before they even try one of Apple's products for the first time? Okay guys, that was it for today's video. But before I go, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. See you in the next one.